Wassail, beautiful, beautiful people. Hello. So, what an amazing eclipse that was. I went with friends up to the East Hill here, and although Stonehenge was going to be exciting, we thought, there was no sun. But actually, up where we went, we had the most beautiful, rich, velvet blue skies, pink clouds came down. I'm wearing a shirt in honour of all the colours that we saw up there, and at one point a dawn rainbow just slid from a cloud and then the sun came. It was so beautiful. However, in that silence that I've had from the internet for a few days, yesterday in particular, everyone seems to be vomiting up some very toxic energies that have to be cleared out, including myself. I have a very difficult relationship with my father that I've been working through, but he just poked too many buttons yesterday, so I've stepped away. He'll have to let his carers look after him now, and I have to move on. However, I will say it's helped me to solidify a lot of thoughts. So all these orbs that have been flying around me have been drawing my attention to the fact that the cosmos was lining up my mirror soul, my King of Wands. And he arrived, and I just decided I don't want to do it. I need to go on a different kind of pilgrimage. I will give you details about that. And this new project I want you all to be involved in is starting in mid-July. But for now, I wanted to do a reading about the moon that's coming now. Today and until 6 p.m. UK time tomorrow, it's a void of course moon. The moon has no aspects with anything. I'll put a link to a video I did earlier about void moons. During void moons is a really excellent time to do shadow work, because actually you can play with notions inside yourself and there are no emotional ripples that echo out into the universe. So the next sort of 24 to 30 hours is a really good time to do some work. So hopefully we'll get some information about that. I need once again to just say thank you everybody who's written beautiful comments. I will try to write back to you. I know people are wanting to get readings, and I'm setting up a system to do that, and I'll post that online very shortly. Also, a wonderful person, Victoria, sent 4 new decks of cards to me, and I'm working on connecting with those cards. In fact, I might just use one of them. I am using the Moonology cards that she sent me, but she sent me this beautiful cosmic reading cards, and actually I'm just not going to shy away from the fact that I'll channel the message for now. But here's a really interesting thing which I do want to say. These cards arrived on the eclipse, which was the 21st of June, and I opened them, and my most popular reading online has been the Mirrored Souls reading. Well, how amazing is it that in this deck there is a Mirrored Soul card? So just cosmically beautiful. Anyway, let's get on with this reading, and also thank you to people that have been donating money to me. It's so gratefully received, and all the money will help me with this mad, insane project that I'm going to embark upon in July. So, you know, if you're feeling very generous, I don't usually ever say this on videos, but I'm really grateful to receive things, because I need to learn to receive, and that's been a massive lesson in letting go of things myself. Okay, so let's begin with the wonderful Moonology cards that Victoria sent me. These are very, very beautiful. I've always quite fancied a deck and didn't quite have the cash for them. And then they appeared on the eclipse, which was so wonderful. I can't say how magical everything feels at the moment. We're in a new energy, and it is really important for us to really see everything before the eclipse as as void almost, as not necessary. The problem is it's got to come up and we've got to work through it. So let's get underway because I've talked far too much already. Can we please have a sense of, remember there's another lunar eclipse coming up at the beginning of July. And then the next new moon will be in Cancer, just like this solar eclipse one. So it's a double Cancer moon, new moon period. Ooh, there's one. I'm going to read down off these cards, so I'm going to get them. This is the third quarter moon. I just want one more. Can you please help us in this journey forwards now, please? What do we need to know, please, Moon? Oh, it's 2. I'm going to keep those 2 together. So, I'm going to add one of these cosmic reading cards to each, and then we'll set about talking about what messages there are. I really do want to just say while I'm shuffling, you've all been writing such amazing things to me, and it really, really does touch my heart so much that the messages that I'm delivering through spirit and through cards means so much to all of you. It's really, really, really special and wonderful, and it's kind of why I feel like my connection to you and the importance of this is far more vital to my life than settling in with the mirrored soul that I've been begging for a long time. So here we go, come on. Let's have a card for the first. Adjustments are required, the third quarter moon, which we have here. That's 2 that slipped, and I'd really rather they landed on the table. They've landed on the table, but it's too many. I would just really like one. Come on, just give us one card. That was quite lovely, and it is 2, so I'm going to take 2. Now we do, the next card is Take Time to Breathe Out, a disseminating moon. What's going with the disseminating moon? Ooh. And then 2 for that one. So now I'm going to take the shamanic deck. Oh yes, this is why actually Victoria sent me the cards, because she saw me bend the Time Master card in the reading the other day for the solar eclipse, and she dug hers out and she said she really enjoyed returning to the mystical shaman deck. Oh look, and there's the moon on the bottom, and so she sent me a new deck of them, which I'm going to start using, but this is still the old deck because I need to build my energies into the new deck, and I will. I think I might do a reading where I double the decks just for some fun. So there's one for that. A message please. Oh, that was very nice. And then, oh, that was a bit of a, that was too many. That was like a void of moon. A void of course moon. It's so exciting that it's a void of course moon. In fact, 2 people came this morning and they both drew that card. So it's definitely happening. Right, we just get some from the beautiful Light Seer's tarot deck. Oh! The screamy brakes outside right at the moment. It was on that kind of pitch. I'll take that one, but that one didn't jump to the floor. Oh, that one did though. And then please, for this area, come here. I've gone all the way down on the floor. A long way away. Come here, please. Every time, do you know, in the last reading it was the Hierophantrix who went down on the floor. This is the Hierophant. I love that Hierophant. So, this is the Muse Tarot, which I also absolutely love the images of. Okay, and please. Right, I think, oh no, I was going to do the cosmic deck as well. It's greedy for cards. Let's see what we get. Ooh. There's one on the floor that can go with this deck. And now we have one for that. And one for the double moon here. Oh, I bent those cards as well, but don't send me any more of these. There's actually two cards there. Right, so I'll push these piles away and let's begin with the first pile that begins with... I'll just hold that up while I space the rest of the cards out. So this is adjustments are required, third quarter moon. So this is referring to this void of course moon. This is shadow work territory. So I'm getting that sense of reaching out, reaching into the cosmos, pushing your energy very far forwards towards experiencing kind of new emotions. The third quarter moon is as it's pushing towards becoming full, becoming close to an ending of something. So this period, and we are obviously heading towards a lunar eclipse. So we are in that phase as we move forwards. And these two cosmic reading cards are to be still and to have compassion. 10 and 5, which is 15, 6. So you're seeking a balance. So be still. And this really is a really important message for everybody at the moment. This need to adjust. There's a really, okay, so everything's about paradoxes at the moment. So for me, one of the greatest paradoxes that I keep being told is all of the things about we're moving slowly towards the end of this year where many of the signs, planets will move into Aquarius, which is about the collective. Now this whole kind of COVID, social distancing, within a lot of sort of notions is that governments are wanting to isolate us so that we don't reach out to the collective with each other. But it's a little bit like, there's part of it where they kind of over-egged the mix. It's almost like they've done it too soon. They kind of thought that this eclipse was going to be some magical moment, which it is, but what I mean is they thought there was going to be some kind of collective coming together now, and so they wanted to keep us in isolation. Actually, the collective moment comes with the solar eclipse that's coming in December, just before we move into 2021, a completion of the judgment period, and that's when the real big changes will happen. Now, we're just moving forwards with a whole new balanced energy for those of us that have been doing the shadow work. So the paradox is, in order to help the collective, you have to be still. You have to find your own pathway, your own gateway. You know, whether you're a parent, a child, a sibling, a lover of somebody, you have to walk through your own stillness. And actually, it's not walking through. It's not like a gateway appears and you step through it. It's that you stand still. And there was a reading I did a while back that talked about the most beautiful part of lockdown was being still, was this notion of being stationary. Because when you're stationary, you allow all the energies of time and all the different portals and magic to come towards you and for it to wash through your body. And that's how you go through the portals. So all this international jet setting and flying and driving and commuting and rushing, that's always been distorting all of the good time frequencies that can't catch up with us, and that's why people have jet lag. So it's very interesting. They're saying to me, it's a bit like in the Victorian period, you know, going with a horse was about as fast as you could go, and then the motor car came along, the train came along, and people were frightened to go that fast, and we kind of mock them because we know how fast super fast trains go and planes go and all these things, but actually they're not good energetically for us. It's moving faster than is anticipated within this linear density world. It's different if you're in the cosmos and you're zipping in between dimensions, or in the astral plane realm. That's a whole different, that's energy. It's not dealing with your molecules. Your molecules are sluggish, and your molecules contain DNA traumas that just can't deal with these changes. So the more still you can be, actually the more healing you can have. So be still and have compassion. So the energy of this card of compassion is to speak compassion. It's higher heart. This is telling me that in order, when we combine the two hearts, so when we come down to earth, when we incarnate, we sign our pre-incarnation contracts, we come down, and in order to live in this 3D dense earth linear space, your hearts have to be split, your heart split in two, so that you have a higher heart connecting to the people and the other life and things around you, and a lower heart to connect you to the world. We're trying to draw these two hearts together, and that's the key to the age of Pisces. But to draw those together, you have to exercise forgiveness, compassion, and a total lack of any kind of retribution to anyone that's been awful to you, because actually, when you get to the end of your life and you read back on your contracts, you'll see that you agreed to all the awful things that happened to us. So be still and learn to feel compassion for everything. Now, then, we're moving to, I am getting this sense of Sagittarian energy. And it's really interesting because they're saying to me that in astrology, we haven't, Western astrologers, unlike the Vedic, they haven't kept up with the precedents. So, precession rather. The planets, we will say, because we've divided the houses equally into 12, we will say that Jupiter, Pluto and Mars have been in Capricorn for ages. They kind of half have been, but they're also still very slightly in Sagittarius. And the reason I'm getting this Sagittarius is because we're at a moment, oh, there it is. I was going to say we're at a moment where we need to shoot our arrow into the galactic center of the universe. This is the black hole through which it's dense, it's real anti-gravity. This is where divine feminine consciousness pours in. This is where we start. It's through this portal, which is the 8 of emotions. This is where we have to fire our intentions and our dreams for what we would like life to be as we move forwards. So it's actually interesting, we've got 2 8s, we've got 88, which is a very powerful number. So choosing the moment, and I'm going to say that it's this void of course moon is the beginning point. Like I've been today, when I left my father's house yesterday and decided it's time for him to stop bullying me with the language, and it was very stressful because it was a very difficult conversation with him, and he was very stressed and upset, but his own language can't change. But I came here knowing that this was the next part of my pre-incarnation contracts to free myself from that DNA trauma. And I sat down and shuffled just this deck, the Light Seer's deck, and I got the Ten of Swords, Ending of Endings, and then the 4 other cards that came out, each was an ace. I mean, it's telling not just me, but it is a message to all of us that the eclipse that's just happened is a total, utter reset for everybody. It's the chance, plus with this whole period of lockdown for people, it's a chance to reevaluate what would you like from your life. I mean, I know I very quickly have worked out my answer, but I'm lucky in that I spend so much of my time talking to the sea and my Elohim. And so I know what I now need to do. And I've made that decision. Even though there was a different plan, we have free will. And I said, I'd like to change the plan, even though it was what I was calling in. And there was all that orb magic around it. You don't have to do anything that anyone tells you, including your guides. You need to remember that you are the power, and actually your guides can guide you, but you don't give your power to anybody. So, and part of it was I was being asked to show willing and surrender is a really important thing, but actually you need to surrender to your own destiny, not somebody else's. So it's almost like you shoot your arrow into this hole, and the Eight of Wands, this fiery inspiration, will burst forth and light up everything. It's like don't have one plan, fire every idea you want towards the galactic center, and it's in Sagittarius. So focus your intentions, think about it during this void of course moon, and then begin to create space in your world for it. So where are we heading? We've got the page of voices. This is to get visual and vocal clarity on your journey. So I spent the last moon phase and a while declaring what I anticipated my future being, and that future was manifesting. And then, as I say, yesterday I changed my mind. And you can do that, but you have to voice, you have to create reality. And if someone asks you what you're going to do and you've got a new plan, just tell them. And if they say, oh, that won't happen, you go, no, it will. I don't live in that old energy anymore. I live in this new energy. And if you can't go with me, if you can't support me, then I'm going to move into that energy without you. Because look, I see clearly now. I know where I'm going. I'm alive with ideas. Things are dancing and creating inside my head. So it's about you creating. Oh, look, more dancing. 4 of Wands. This is celebration. This is happy home. This is, I want to say happy camping, but this is magical energy. It's like knowing your journey and embracing it. And that's what we have to start doing now. That thing I spoke about earlier, this paradox, you have to allow the energy to come towards you. When you pass through your gateways and your portals into this new frequency that you voiced is your inner truth, then all the people around you that you love dearly, they're still there. They might not have stepped through their gateways, but they're still there. And you're now in a new dimensional frequency, and they're still there for you to love and treasure. So to help the collective, you have to disconnect, take care of yourself, and you help the collective forwards. The coming together of the collective is later in the year, as I said. So, what are you aiming for? What are you calling in? What is the cosmos offering you? Abundance. The cosmos wants you to have the best life. It doesn't want you to have the age of Pisces traumas that we had. Oh, sorry, now that I'm seeing my hand out, I need to ring the bell. You see, that was so beautifully soft. That was a... I'm going to ring it again because that was so lovely. It's never sounded like that. That was so... It's almost like a new bowl. Ooh, there is not inside the sound, around the edge of the sound, there's something that needs chipping off. It's really soft, but there's still something from the age of Pisces that needs to just be broken free, and that's us moving forward. So, let's go to this second pile that we have that begins with take time to breathe out. Now, breath is everything. Breath is life. Breath is air, and air contains all the magic, the earth magic that you need. When you breathe, you pull in prana. You pull in oxygen, nitrogen, all these molecules that are earth. They're made from the molecules of the earth. You breathe them in as you breathe in, and you push out carbon dioxide. Now, so you're breathing in molecules and you're doing magic with it inside you. Now, inside that air, it's air. It has the molecules, which are the earth. It has moisture because there's water in everything, and our bodies are full of water, and that's moving in our blood and in our cells. And you also have light. So within air are the 4 elements of magic. Now, in you, because your living consciousness is ether, as we're calling source energy, the missing part, the divine 9 element that creates, animates, and makes things real. That's what's inside every breath you take. And when you take in breath, remember your body's doing all this wonderful magic to convert it and to keep you alive with it and to pull in this wonderful prana. But it's also trying to teach you that the new age of Aquarius magic is High Priestess mind magic. It's not waving the hands and getting salt and water and feathers and flames. It's all in you. And what they're wanting to say with this disseminating moon is you do different magic at different times of the day. So if you're doing magic in the daytime, like now, the most beautiful sunshine, it's like Saint-Tropez here today. You're using wonderful, warm, fiery sun magic. And then there's night magic with the moon. The new moon is when there's no sense of the light in the sky. And it's dark magic, but not evil. That's the whole point. It's the dark magic. Because often in history, witches were meant to do all of their magic on new moons. And it's because the moon is racing around the sky with the sun. So at night, it's on the other side of the world. And you're creating magic in that space of... It's not the darkness of kind of evilness. It's the comfort of the difference between night and day. So it's a wonderful energy. New moons are beautiful, full moons are different. So it's about beginning something new and having faith that the light and the emotions will grow again. And so that's why we do magical ceremonies at different moon phases. So where is this heading, this new energy? It's a new chapter. This is like spiritual fountain. This is like absolute truth, absolute clarity, absolute purifying, washing away, cleaning. It's that same energy here. There's sort of like demystifying, removing, and we have with them lightning. These cards, the energy coming off these cards is incredible. Now, the lightning one has got the moon phase, and it's about the eclipse, this hiding of the moon by the earth, the umbra that creates the slight shadow that comes across the earth during these things. Now, down below in this card, there is all kinds of magical celestial mountains. Crystal grids are taking shape. I see quartz crystals, I see citrine, I see garnets, I see... so basically, sorry, they're making me want to burp. I'm seeing the energy of the importance of connection to crystals and to the element of gold. And I wanted to say pearl, but they're correcting me and they're saying mother of pearl. Abalone, those kind of shells. Shells are going to be a very important magic frequency that would be worth trying to gather. You don't have to, but if you're planning on doing some kind of wonderful eclipse moon magic, I'm being told that crystals and shells. Now, here's the thing about crystals. Buy yourself some little tiny tumbled stones, and you can place your crystals in moonlight because that's a very good way of charging them. But and you can bury them and dig them back up. I'm actually being told that what you need to do, and this is the card that's telling me, this Knight of Cups, is get some little tumble stones, put these intentions that you have into these tumble stones, and then take them to places and bury them. Bury them at trees and bless the tree and say, this is a gift for you because you're wonderful. For no other reason than to just say to the tree in the natural world, you're gorgeous. So this thing that we mined and took from you, I want to give it back to you. I know a lovely a Celtic oracle, and we went up to work on a spring that was flowing badly, very static. When we first went down there, there were lots of dead flies, and there was a stench to the air. And she buries crystals and she sings some songs, and I did some sound healing into the earth, into the branches of trees, and the spring started to work again. And but she buries the crystals, and it's really a lovely, wonderful gift to give back things that we've taken from the earth and say, I've had beautiful joy from this crystal. I mean, I've got my lovely crystals here, and there's all kinds of things that you can take, and you can, I've loved this crystal. I've had wonderful dreams from it, but maybe it's time for this crystal to go back into the earth. Maybe I'll make that part of this project that I will announce properly soon. These sort of crystals, you can bury them if you can afford to, but if not, maybe you just say to someone, I've had all the pleasure from this crystal now, I'd like you to have them, and gift them to other people. It's about sharing, reaching out, okay? So that's just a message to do with crystals taking shape here. Give some back to the earth. Many paths. This is where we're heading. They've told me to pick this one up with this one. So, many paths. Now this is about those portals, and there are many of these. We've all got them, and we've all got, it's like the future's always calling us to these gateways, and it just depends on how successfully you can do your own shadow work to get to these. Now, I know some of you watching don't really know what shadow work is. Shadow work is to work on aspects of yourself that you don't need, bad thought patterns that you do. And I really mean that patterns that you need to observe to let go of are often traumas within our DNA and not necessarily in your consciousness, but they become part of your consciousness. one of mine that was a comical pattern that took me a long time to let go of was when I was traveling, I had an app to try and find really nice coffee. I've said this before, but it does make me laugh. Every time I would go somewhere, I wouldn't enjoy the coffee. And in the end, I realised that, you know, if you want that lovely, perfect cup of coffee, stay home. Don't go anywhere. Just drink the coffee how you like it. Or just accept whatever flavour the coffee is wherever you are. And then all coffee begins to taste beautiful because you're not coming at it with the wrong expectation. So that's a very trivial part of my shadow work that I've done. I've had to do all kinds of much darker things to remove, but that's what you do. Now, this many cards, I feel like I've never seen the secret hidden figure inside this card before. I don't know if you can see him, but the light's quite good. He's got a head there and he's got his arms coming down. It's very difficult to see. I think you can, and there's his shoulders, or the figure's shoulders. This is your energy body, your light body. It's barely formed. Because we are moving away very slowly now from the density of the 3D world towards the 5D. Now, I'm not saying all of a sudden we're all going to become like this, you know, energy columns, or like this, where the lower part of the body is no longer full of molecules. But what it's talking to me about is lightening the weight of what we carry within our DNA. So shedding the stresses of discomfort. And then we end this little section with a manifestation of much better emotions. We've got the Ace of Swords, clarity, sword of truth, and we've got the 10 of emotions. Now, I'm always saying 1 and 10 is the combination of manifestation, because 1 represents the magician in the major arcana, 10 represents the Wheel of Fortune, to nudge things forwards in our favour. So what you're manifesting here is to stand in your own truth, to understand all the overcomplicated thinking and to remove it so that you have clarity of thought. And this will allow your higher self to descend down the staircase and work with you to bring about this celebration of emotions, to be in balance and to be surrounded by love. Everybody around you is dancing in joy because you're happy. If you're a beacon of happiness, a beacon of light, energy, everyone around you will begin to bask in that same energy, which is a really, really lovely message. So what's our third pile? This one is a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer, and have faith in your dreams, which is a waxing crescent moon. So actually we do that the other way around. We'll wax first and then we'll reach full. So have faith in your dreams and a personal issue will reach resolution. This is the cosmos saying, I've got beautiful, wonderful plans to unfold with you. And we have 2 cards. Move forwards, 23, free spirit, 13. So 13, 23, free spirit, move forwards. So this is about being connected but not being connected, this free spirit, because there's something very it's like dreaming. So as this card said, have faith in your dreams. This card is dreaming. There's all this hair, there's all this wonderful fire, but the person's not actually enacting their dream. It says free spirit, but the energy is they're stuck, they're frozen, they're almost like the Isa rune, which is in the giant realm, where you're clinging on and holding on to something from the past that's not actually allowing this personal issue to reach its resolution. And it's move forwards, move Step into it. Look at the beautiful energy radiating around with the new thoughts. The cosmos, your higher self, working with you to bring about the changes. And it's almost, again, there is this notion, and I'm being told, the darkness, that new moon magic of the void energy from the galactic center of the universe has some kind of connection to what's going on. Okay, so this is Tree of Life from the Mystical Shaman, 58. And obviously 58 is a 13. This is the new magical number, 13. This is divine feminine high priestess magic, that prana breath magic that we just talked about, works on the idea of 13. This is the energy, the Yggdrasil energy is the shamanic tree through which you can pass into many portals. You can go to the upper realms, the lower realms. You can witness all kinds of things in the dream realm. And it's connecting in with this card of 13. So again, this dark energy of facing emotional challenges and resolving the issue. What I really love about this card, we've got that element of gold. There is a real sense of golden light, gold as a color, gold as a frequency. Gold is the energy of the earth grid portals. On my website, I will try and remember to put a link on there to this page. There's an exercise where you open up pools of energy light and sink into them, and they're golden light. It's not red earth root chakra, that's old school. This is golden, when the chakras become just 4 energy chakras, and they're chords, they're harmonized, they're a different way in which bodies work, and it creates the 12 energy centers with the 13th one. But I'll try and remember to put the link in, because that's where we're heading now with this energy. But this is bathing, washing, cleansing in earth energy to cleanse your molecules, to remove all the trauma of DNA. It all needs to come away now. So how are we doing this? We're doing this through divine, masculine, epiphany, intuition. This is uploads. Okay, this is the earth grid. This is, I want you to understand, this is inside the earth. There are Elohim, there are people, guardians of the emerald tablets, all of that kind of stuff. They've been changing the frequency of the earth, and with the eclipse it's finally become divine masculine. And this means that you can now receive uploads that will come up to you, and they'll come in as intuition, just like downloads that used to come in and still do with the high earring in frequencies. This is different. This is an energy that comes up to inform your DNA, not to inform your consciousness, your divine feminine kundalini energy. This is coming up to inform the earth grid energy. So we're being upgraded with the tree of life energy, you know, the roots of the trees. Meditate with the trees, go into the ground, see what's going on. So where are we heading with this? It's to be a muse of inspiration. This is the King of Wands. They're giving me a little personal message, but you don't need that. They're just making a little joke. They were like, it's the King of Wands, or it's this, because it's the same card, but this is about being in balance. And with me making that decision to move away from my King of Wands mirror soul energy and moving forwards, this is a journey towards something new. The moon, there's fire because it's wands, there's new passions. This has got a rare image. There's very few male figures in these cards, which is really kind of wonderful, because it's the importance of not saying that men are not important, but saying that the balance of energy is transferred. It's about divine feminine consciousness within everyone moving through things. But this is talking about this energy of the earth grid. Your molecules are owned by the earth because they're made of the earth. When you're birthed, you're made from earth molecules and your divine feminine consciousness comes in. But the idea behind this card is that what's happening in the age of Aquarius is the molecules are way less important than the divine feminine consciousness, which is a much bigger, much more open, watching, magical third eye energy. And then we have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Materials. And this really is talking about being very, very zen, very, very balanced, and very, very in tune with spirit. So this is the comfort of molecules. Remember Pentacles, and this is Materials of Pentacles as well. They're the only tarot suit that are to do with the external world. Wands, cups, and swords are all to do with internal work, the shadow work that we do. So this energy here that we're witnessing is to do with being totally in balance with, and they are saying to me, you're going to find a spirit guide. There's a wonderful wasp or bee that's buzzing, and it's saying to me that your spirit guides can be tiny. So maybe I'm having a bumblebee for a bit that's going to talk to me. So to be content in the real world, you have to have a plan forward. You can't take your old life there. You have to come to something new. And this wonderful, they're talking to me about this colander effect that I keep talking about, when you have to line up a whole series of colanders inside colanders inside colanders and pass a stick through, and they have to go through, there's hundreds of holes, but you have to move them so that the stick passes through all the correct holes to make your pathway forwards. But your higher self is cascading down abundance. This is a card, the Nine of Materials is the one card in tarot in the old decks that was always about feminine power. You know, it was a wealthy woman who stood beautifully dressed with a falcon and things like that. But this one has got the energy of blossoming succulents. There are dandelions that have gone to their bloom, waiting to be blown, to spread seeds. This is about a wonderful sense of blossoming joy, but it's about being in balance between your male Kundalini molecules and your divine feminine consciousness, which is being fed into the real world now, because finally, with the male earth grid being divine, the divine feminine consciousness is willing to come down and earth herself because it's a comfortable place to be for the first time ever. And it's going to get more and more comfortable as we move on through this year. And that's the really, really beautiful thing. So, just to end, I'm going to do a Rassouli. I really badly want to show you my Odin deck, but I'm not going to do it yet because I've got to learn to read it and I've got to study up the Norse mythology. But they're fabulous cards. There we go. This is a beautiful message to end with. The energy of love. Actually, it's a little bit like my shirt. So this is behold the world through the eyes of love. And here we have 3 moons. And they're icy white moons. And there's a single star, and then there's a reflective star. But beneath the moon in this card, I will show you in just a sec, there is a figure in the distance, and there's all this wonderful Akashic record stuff, and ivies and plants swinging across, everything being in balance. So here's the card, absolutely gorgeous, but I'm just going to bring it in and try and get you to see. Here is the figure. Okay? So there's energy sliding down towards you. And it is, again, they just want me to remind you that to help the collective as we move through this rest of this year, you have to help yourself first. You can't help anybody else if you are still unable to fix your own sacral. The sacral's been blown open, the sacral's been cleaned out of all the unworthiness, and now it's time to actually call people out who cannot see your inner beauty. If someone can't see your inner beauty, they don't deserve to be with you, and it really is just that simple. So that's the reading for now. I will try and keep up with the comments. I know you've left so many beautiful comments on the other reading, and I'm going to start reading them now. A friend of mine told me there's hundreds. And it does take a long time to catch up, but I honestly, I love reading all the things you write to me. It goes inside my heart, and it helps me to understand the messages that we need to share with each other to move forward. So anyway, have a beautiful time. I will be doing some more readings. There's lots of kind of things planned. I do need to get the website updated to do with personal tarot readings, and then I need to create a page about what this new project will be, which you will find, I'm sure, very, 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 very exciting. I know I do. Anyway, wassail, bye people.